On this web page, I want to add some hyperlinks. I have a list here of 4 different items, and I want each of these to be a hyperlink. Now, to do a hyperlink, we need to use the A tag, and I'm going to start with this one. So there's an opening A tag and a closing A tag. Notice that A tags are inline elements and need to be contained in something. Here it is being contained in a list item of an unordered list. So this will satisfy the need for it to be contained. The other thing that we need with a hyperlink with an A tag is it has a required attribute, href equals. And inside here, we're going to do href equals and put our double quotes. Inside here, we're going to put the actual address of where we want the link to go. So the URL of the new page. So for this one, I want it to go here, and the safest way to do this is to copy. Now notice that in my browser, it doesn't show the HTTP, and I know I need that, but if I highlight that whole thing and I copy it, the HTTP is actually there. The browser just doesn't show it, but when I copy it, it has it in there. So it is the complete URL, including the prototype, and then the host name, or the server, the address of the server, any path that is required to get to that location. So it's your complete URL is in there. And now I've created a hyperlink for this. If I go to my page and I refresh, notice that this one now shows up as a hyperlink. It's colored. The color might be blue or purple, and it's underlined. Those are 2 pieces of style that you get for free when you use an A-link. Now if I click on it, the page moves to that location. So the hyperlink worked. The next one is a hyperlink seeing universe that I want to also create. It's going to follow the same pattern. I'm going to have an opening A tag before the text and closing A tag after the text. And I'm going to, this one I want to go to a YouTube video. So this is a really long URL, and I add that in here. And I add that long URL and save it. And I come back and refresh my page. And now that it's a hyperlink again, I get the color and the underline. And when I click on it, it goes to that location. Now I've introduced one problem, and that is, let me show you there's a problem with validating at this point. So I'm going to go to the validator and go to this file and open it up. And it's produced an error. If I go down to the top error, remember when you're validating, you always go to the top error. It says on line 21, there's a problem, and it's highlighted there on that F. And it says it has this error message that doesn't mean a lot to me. But if I go to line 21 and I go to the F, the problem here is this ampersand sign. That's a special character. The ampersand is a special character, and HTML is trying to make sense of it. Even though it's embedded in this URL and a necessary part of the URL, it isn't validating. So what I need to use is a special character to represent that ampersand. So I'm going to say special characters begin with ampersands and end with colon. And then I need to put a semicolon, and then I need to put the code. So the code for an ampersand is that. So what I've done is I've replaced the actual ampersand with this special character code. And you can look for the video on special HTML special characters to learn more about those. I've saved it. I refresh it in here, and the link still works the same. So it goes to the right place. And now when I go to the validator, I'm going to go back and check it again, and now it validates. Notice that this is also an example of where I had 2 errors and some warnings, and I fixed the top error, revalidated it, and it fixed everything. So remember when you're validating, do that. Fix the top error, revalidate, and see what's left. All right, now I have done my 2 external links. External means that they are going to some other location than where the current page is. So these would you do for links outside your domain, outside of your website. The top two ones I want to be local links. And local links are used for when they're web pages that belong to your local domain. So here, this top one, I'm going to still do an opening and closing A tag. The href is required, and it follows the same pattern. But now inside here, I'm going to do what's called a relative address. And relative means from where you are, this is where you want to go. So where I am, I'm in this file, wise.html, and that file is in this folder, this resources folder. And I want to say, hey, I want to open up this page. So from where you are, right here in this folder, just simply look for this file. It's right there. So I can just put the name of the file, scientific method.html. It requires the extension, so it needs the whole first part, and it needs the extension. If you have yours set so that you don't see the extensions, you might want to change your folder options so that you can see it. So you know what that extension is, because that's part of it. And then I'm going to save this. I'm going to go to my page and refresh. And sure enough, it turns into a hyperlink. It's colored and underlined. And when I click on it, it looks where it is and finds this scientificmethod.html page. So using a relative address, we produce a local link. It doesn't have to go outside to the web. It doesn't need a protocol. It doesn't need to go to new server. This we anticipate will be on our server in the same folder as the other file. All right, my last link is going to another file that's local. And so I'm going to put that there, and then the href equals and quotes. Now, I still want a relative address here, and so I'm going in relationship to where this file, wise.html, is. I want to find the sunflower.html file. But this one is actually inside a folder called flowers. So if I double click on here, that's where it is, sunflower.html. So if I go back to where wise.html is, my relative address has to say from here, you need to go into a folder called flowers. The way I do that is I write the name of the folder, flowers, / that says go to the folder, from where you are, look for folders, look for a folder called flowers. So here I am, I look for a folder called flowers, I get inside there, and then that's that file, sunflower.html. And there's my relative address. From where I am, go to a folder named flowers. Inside there, look for the file sunflower.html. I need to look and make sure. Yep, it doesn't have an S. It has to be exact. So I save that. Then I go back here. Again, I get that coloring and underlining of the hyperlink gives me. And now when I click on it, it uses that relative address to go in the folder and find that web page. Now if I go back to my page that I was working on, I have 4 links, and all of them are active. The first 2 are local links using a relative address. The second 2 are external links that using the complete URL.